I get it when a friend asks whether that big, noisy floor scrubber is worth the space it takes up in the garage. The first thing I say is, don't rush into it. Let's figure out if it actually solves the problem you have. You're probably thinking about the Viper AS5160 because you've seen it roll past a warehouse floor, and it looks like it could make the endless mop-pan bucket routine a thing of the past. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The hesitation is real. A 20-inch brush, a 16-gallon tank, a battery that promises a whole shift of cleaning. Does it deliver? Or will you end up with a pricey piece of metal that sits idle while you keep buying chemicals and mop heads? First off, let's talk about the kind of environment where this machine actually shines. Imagine a small to medium commercial space. Think a boutique hotel lobby, a medical clinic hallway, or a busy restaurant kitchen. Those places have foot traffic that creates a mix of wet spills, sticky residues, and fine dust. A handheld scrubber just can't keep up. You end up going over the same spot 3 times, and the floor still looks dull. The Viper's 20-inch cleaning path means each pass covers more ground than a 12-inch unit, which translates to fewer passes and less fatigue for the operator. The 16-gallon tank holds enough solution for roughly 2,000 square feet before you have to stop and refill, so you're not constantly pulling the machine back to a supply cart. The control panel is where the experience gets surprisingly smooth. There's an hour meter that tracks usage, so you know when it's time for routine service, and a battery capacity readout that tells you exactly how much runtime you have left. I've seen a lot of floor scrubbers where the battery indicator is just a blinking light, hard to gauge whether you have 5 minutes or 30. With this Viper, you can plan the job, finish a wing of the building, and still have a clear readout that says 30% remaining. That level of transparency is a real time saver on busy days. Now, let's get into the strengths that matter once the machine is in your hands. The brush and pad driver can be uninstalled automatically. What that means is you don't have to wrestle with bolts or a wrench when you need to switch from a stiff brush for scuff marks to a soft pad for a shine finish. You just press a button, the driver slides out, and you snap the new attachment in place. In a real-world scenario, say a kitchen crew spills a greasy pan, switching to a scrubbing brush in under a minute keeps the floor from becoming a slip hazard. The heavy-duty cast aluminum squeegee does a solid job of pulling water up the back of the machine, which prevents puddles from forming as you move forward. That squeegee is built to stay aligned even after hundreds of passes, so you won't find yourself constantly adjusting it. Durability is another selling point. The chassis is a rugged steel frame, and the tanks are rotomolded, meaning they're resistant to dents and corrosion from cleaning chemicals. I've spoken with a few facility managers who keep their machines in a wet room environment where water splashes the sides constantly. Those tanks held up without any leaks after months of heavy use. If you're in a setting where the equipment is going to be tossed around, say a school that moves the scrubber between gymnasiums and hallways, that robust construction pays off. On the flip side, there are a few practical trade-offs to weigh. The battery is rated at 130 amp hours, which sounds huge, but in the field you'll notice that a full charge only gives you about 4 to 5 hours of continuous scrubbing under normal load. If you're running an 8-hour shift with back-to-back cleaning, you'll need a second battery or a quick swap system, which adds to the upfront cost. The charger is a 10-amp unit, so you're looking at roughly 8 hours to bring a depleted pack back to full. That's fine if you can schedule a midday charge, but it's something to keep in mind if your operation expects one machine to handle the entire day without downtime. Another consideration is weight. At just over 150 pounds, the Viper isn't something you'll be able to lift onto a truck bed without a forklift or a pallet jack. If you're a small business that plans to store the scrubber in a cramped closet and move it around manually, you'll need a plan for safe handling. The wheels themselves roll smoothly, but getting the machine onto a lift or into a tight stairwell can be a hassle. Who should buy this scrubber? If you run a facility where floor hygiene directly impacts safety or brand perception, medical offices, hospitality venues, food service areas, this machine offers a blend of productivity and ease of use that can justify its price tag. The automatic brush/pad swap and clear battery readout reduce the learning curve for new operators, meaning you won't have to spend weeks training staff.